What's up with the bananas? What's going on, guys? The Elkaim here. Welcome to Ask Yuri Live. Let's cue the intro, shall we? Trouble losing weight? Need more energy? Want to improve your health? You got a fitness or nutrition question? I probably have an answer for you. Oh yeah, you gotta love the intro. I don't even think there was sound on that, but who cares? Okay, so why am I holding bananas? Unripe bananas, actually. And why am I holding an unripe grapefruit? Well, you're about to find out in just a moment. But before we get into that, let me make sure that everyone's good, right? So we can hear me, you can see me, and everything is showing up as it should on the channel here, which I do believe it is. So welcome, everyone. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat where you are joining me from. Where in the world are you joining me from? I am in my home studio in Toronto. For those of you who don't know where Toronto is, that's in Canada. So fourth largest city in North America, just in case you don't know that. Pretty awesome city. Again, I'm just going to keep these bananas handy for a second. So welcome, everyone. This is Ask Yuri. If you don't know who I am, my name is Yuri Elkaim, New York Times bestselling author of the All-Day Energy Diet, which is this guy. All-Day Fat Burning Diet, which I don't have handy. And actually a new cookbook coming out in December, which I'll tell you about later. And over the past 10 years, I've helped over 500,000 people improve their health, fitness, and vitality. And I'm here to help you as well with your health, nutrition, and fitness questions. Today, we're going to go till 12:55. Let me know your questions in the comments, in the chat. I'll do my best to get to everyone I possibly can. And if you missed this for whatever reason, be sure to get the download or the replay, on the good old YouTube. Jessica, what is up from Florida? Where in Florida are you? Just out of curiosity. Not that I'm going to come and stalk you, but Florida's obviously a big state, right? Hey, Stuart, how's it going? Welcome, everyone. Let me know where you are joining me from. Okay, so as you guys are dialing in here and kind of tuning in, I'm going to share with you why I'm holding 2 unripe green bananas. You guys want to know this? Well, before I do, one more thing I want to, actually, no, I'll tell you what this is first. Okay, so the unripe bananas, they're a little bit tough to peel, right? And the cool thing about unripe bananas is that they're very high in something called resistant starch. Do you guys know what resistant starch is? I hope you do. If you've been following my stuff, you probably know about it because I talk about it quite a bit. Our diabetes product talks a lot about this because of its benefit on blood sugar, weight, gut health, all sorts of great parameters for diabetics. But I mean, even if you're generally healthy, resistant starch is amazing. So a little kind of background, when bananas get really ripe, when they become like spotty and dark, their sugar content increases significantly. Okay, so that's when you want to maybe avoid eating that many bananas when they're that ripe. In this state, they're totally good. They're a little bit more tart. They leave that little bit of a weird kind of sensation in your mouth and on your teeth and stuff. But the cool thing is that they're very high in resistant starch. Resistant starch is a type of starch that your body does not break down. Okay, it doesn't get absorbed into the bloodstream. It doesn't store as fat like other starch does. What it does is it passes through your digestive system into your gut, and it's food for your bacteria, which is amazing. And there's been a lot of amazing research on this. So resistant starch gets broken down, and one of the byproducts of this breakdown is called butyric acid. And butyric acid has amazing healing properties on your gut, and it has some massively powerful anti-inflammatory benefits throughout the body. So by eating more unripe bananas or cooked then cooled white potatoes or white rice, or simply supplementing with like a tablespoon of raw potato starch in your smoothie, you can get more resistant starch into your day. It's pretty awesome stuff, okay? So I have these on the counter, so I thought I'd bring them down and obviously talk to you guys about why on earth I'm holding green bananas. They're good, okay? They're pretty cool. All right, Jessica, Venice, Florida, very cool. Annette Stewart, hey from Edmonton, Alberta, what's going on? All right, guys, so if you have a question, nutrition, health, fitness related, let me know. Just ask away in the comments. I'll do my best to answer you. If I don't, then don't take it personally. Okay, so while we get some questions coming in here, I might as well talk about this random grapefruit. So the reason I'm holding this grapefruit is, well, first of all, I had the other half this morning, but I wanted to kind of quiz you guys and see if you guys knew this. You see these stickers here on the fruit? If I can get that in there. Well, I don't know if that's going to zoom in or not. Okay, so you know how all produce has these stickers. Do you guys know what numbers to look for organic produce, for instance? Like, how do you know if something's organic or not organic? Well, what you want to be looking for is the first number. I mean, other than the fact that it's probably going to be saying like organic grapefruit, is the number on the sticker. The first number should be a 9 if it's organic. Okay, so if it's a 9, you know you're eating organic produce. So I just saw this, so I figured, you know what, might as well bring it down and hook you guys up with some goodness if you didn't already know that. Now, the reason, organic grapefruits, is it necessary to eat organic grapefruits? I don't know. We actually get this really cool food delivery every week from a great company called Mum Earth Organics. They deliver fresh, organic, local produce, and so we don't have to worry too much about it. But if I was to choose, like if I went to the grocery store and I had, this one for $2 and a non-organic one for $1, I'm going to ask myself, do I really need to spend the extra dollar to get organic grapefruit? And for me personally, I would say no. And the reason for that is because you're not really eating the peel of the grapefruit. And that's where most of the pesticides and all that stuff is going to be housed. So there are certain fruits and vegetables that are okay-ish. Again, if you're having to make a decision in terms of what you're willing to spend, I would suggest get whatever foods you're going to eat in their entirety organic, right? So again, these are organic bananas simply because we get this food basket delivered that's all organic. But am I going to pay twice as much for organic bananas in the store? Probably not, because I'm not eating the peel. So things like berries, leafy green vegetables, peppers, all those things where you're eating the entirety of the food, get those organic. Okay, if you had to choose, in terms of where to spend your resources. Things like melons, avocados, bananas, stuff where you're removing the peel, removing the rind in this case, not as big a deal to get organic. Okay, so hopefully that's gonna save you a couple bucks on your weekly grocery bill if you're not already doing that. And there we go. All right, so guys, if you've got a question, post away in the chats. Just gonna refresh my feed here, see if we got any action. All right, so okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the good old Ask Yuri doc. I'm going to pull a question that we've received from our customer service team and see what's going on over there. Okay. I'm just going to randomly scroll. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, this comes from Tina. I was only using okay. So I was using coconut oil and butter and my cholesterol was high, so I stopped, but all health professionals use coconut oil. Does cholesterol become higher because it's the good cholesterol, or how does it work? This is a good question. So if you guys are wondering about coconut oil as well, and I should kind of just say fats in general, but let's focus on coconut oil. Coconut oil is pretty much, one of the only saturated fats in the plant kingdom. So it's synonymous with butter. It's a saturated fat, which means that it's very stable and it's very good for higher cooking temperatures. So a lot of people think because it's a saturated fat that it's going to raise your cholesterol and do all sorts of damage to your blood vessels. But the reality, guys and gals, is that coconut oil is really going to have zero impact on your cholesterol in terms of like a negative impact. So coconut oil is very high in medium chain triglycerides, MCT, right? And MCT has a lot of benefits from boosting thermogenesis, so boosting your metabolic rate a little bit inside your body, to antimicrobial, antibacterial properties. There's well-documented research on the power of medium chain triglycerides. Now, the thing is, we live in this world that has become very fearful of fat. And that's unfortunate because of a lot of faulty research back in the 60s and 70s that was later very quickly adopted by the medical community as dogma. That said that fats are bad, they cause cholesterol and heart disease. And there's actually a very, very interesting, I don't know if you guys saw this, a really eye-opening and exposing really type of article in the New York Times about 2 weeks ago, talking about the sugar industry and how it literally had to pay in terms of like lobbying money and stuff to find an enemy to fight against. And that's why fat was basically deemed this enemy, so that sugar could kind of slide under the radar, and all these sugar, these companies would, would massively profit from what they were doing in terms of their sugar content in their foods. So that was a huge cover up. It was a big expose in the New York Times. I don't know if you guys saw that article, but it's really, really cool. But essentially, we've been brainwashed into thinking that fats, even butter, are going to raise our cholesterol. And the thing is, like, most foods, or almost all food, is going to have little to no impact on your blood cholesterol. What's going to happen inside your body is most important. So specifically, cholesterol is produced in your liver. It's sent throughout your body and is used as building blocks on the cell membranes of your cells. So if, for instance, your cells are unhealthy or your blood vessels become scarred because of too much free radical damage, then what ends up happening is a lot of that cholesterol can bind to those scars, almost like cutting your hand with a knife, and start to clot and fix the area. So it's really a protective defense mechanism that the body has to use cholesterol as a kind of a repair tool. So cholesterol is not the problem. The problem is we need to improve the health inside of our body and reduce inflammation, reduce all of this free radical damage, which is coming from, for instance, sugar consumption or too much alcohol or smoking, environmental toxins, right? Those are the real culprits, because when you get rid of, or when you minimize that stuff and you ensure your liver is healthy, your body is healthy, you can still enjoy things like butter, like coconut oil, and it's not going to be the end of the world, okay? So we actually on the blog, if you go, I've actually included a link in the description here just above the video. Click on that link, it'll take you over to my blog, and just type in coconut oil. We have a lot of great articles on the benefits of coconut oil, some of the myths that need to be busted. So if you want to go into more detail about that, click on the link, check out the blog. Tons of great awesome stuff over there on coconut oil, and obviously a lot more as well. All right, so Stuart's asking, is bread healthy for you, and which bread? So I had actually a really interesting discussion yesterday on a podcast about this. Bread has no nutritional value. I don't care what any dietitian says. There's no reason nutritionally to eat bread. The only reason we eat bread is because we enjoy the taste of bread. And I'm the first one to confess that I'm a bread-oholic, or I was a bread-oholic. And if I am in front of bread, I will, I'll do some damage to it, right? So that's not a good relationship to have with bread. And again, bread is very addictive. It has gluten, which has is problematic. There's things called gluteomorphins, which are basically like opioids that do some stuff at your brain kind of reward centers to really have you crave more bread. So bread in and of itself is not really of any nutritional value. Okay, so if you want fiber, listen, have more fruits and vegetables. Okay, I don't care what anybody says, there's no nutritional value to having bread in your diet. If you don't have bread in your diet, you'll be healthier, you will not be devoid in anything. And it's just because it's so pervasive in our diet that we tend to eat more of it, right? Sandwiches, stuff like that. So if you have to use, if you don't want to, sorry, my dog is barking upstairs. If you want to still include bread, I would suggest moving towards, oh my God, the dogs, move towards a almond flour bread, even Ezekiel kind of sprouted grain bread are better options. And yeah, sorry, my dogs are just going crazy upstairs. It's really distracting. So normally I put the bar collars on them when I'm recording like this, but now I didn't. So I'm not going to go run upstairs and take care of that now. So we'll just have to go through this. All right. So hopefully, Stuart, that helps you out. All right. So Elizabeth, the area that is catching. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Hey, Yuri, I'm 4 weeks out of my second right knee scope. I've been having knee problems and hoping surgery would fix it. Through physical therapy, you discovered that is my vastus lateralis. You mean your vastus lateralis? I think. That is catching when I go from straight to bend position while turning. Examples, getting to the car passenger side. I'm told that something is not tracking, but no one else has offered me a solution. Any thoughts? Okay, this is a pretty technical question. So the vastus lateralis is the muscle on the outside of your thigh. So your quad has four muscle. I can't even remember my anatomy for a second. That's four muscle heads. Okay. So if I could show my leg here, I would show you, but it's kind of a little bit tough. So the vastus lateralis is the muscle on the lateral side of your quad, just where it starts to kind of come into the IT band a little bit. And the problem here is the tracking thing. So again, I would strongly suggest working with a physio on this, but from what I can suggest to you is maybe look at doing some foam rolling and release a lot of the lateral tension on the lateral side of your thigh. So foam rolling, get on a lacrosse ball, really work out that little chasm, that little bridge from the area around the vastus lateralis just below the knee, right? So when you start getting into the shin, on the outside of the shin, really work through that, because if you can break up some of that junk, you're gonna have a much easier time allowing those tissues to track properly. And not just rolling out, but also roll out with movement. So how do I explain this? Okay, so let's say that, I'm trying to use the bananas to explain this. So instead of just foam rolling with your legs straight, okay, as you're foam rolling, bend and extend your leg, okay, at a very basic level. What that's gonna do is that's gonna help create traction under compression. And that is going to help work through some of that tension and some of that junk that could be part of the issue here. I'm not saying this is the solution, but that might be something you want to try. And as a general rule of thumb, when you are foam rolling or doing soft tissue release, you don't just want to, so if this is the foam, like if this is the ball, you don't just want to like do this, okay? What you want to do is, let's just say I'm working on my pec minor here. You want to take the pec minor through ranges of motion as you're applying pressure into it. So what you're doing is you're creating compression and traction or movement at the same time. And that's how you start to really break up a lot of the junk in the tissues that will help increase range of motion and reduce a lot of the stiffness. So Elizabeth, try that. Hopefully that helps you out, but I would strongly suggest obviously you're working with a physio on this because it's a bit more of a specific type of issue. Just gonna have a little sip of water here. Okay. Guys, if you're enjoying this, thanks for joining me first of all. If you're enjoying this, share this. Click the share button somewhere around this video. Let your peeps know about this so they can watch the replay. We want to get this exposed. We want to get more people involved in this. We want to get really a lot of people getting this information, asking their questions. I want to do my best to support you guys. And so click the little thumbs up button or share this on Facebook with your friends. That would be awesome. Okay. Not for me, for them. I mean, I'm happy to support you guys, but if we can help more people, then that's obviously a good thing as well, right? Okay, Spencer, will you be doing a live talk in Toronto anytime soon? Not so much on the health side. I'm going to be doing some more live events in the new year on kind of the business side. So I'm kind of spending a lot of my time and focus on our healthpreneur business, which is helping other health professionals grow their online presence so that collectively we can help more people. And that's where I'm going to be doing some more kind of like live in-person stuff, but not so much on the health side of things. However, speaking is something we're doing a big push on later this year. So I'll let you guys know if there's going to be any kind of conferences or things I'm going to be speaking at, because I love doing that. I love being on stage and kind of sharing the awesomeness. So yeah. Winnie, which is the best carbohydrate grains for meals? Well, the best carbohydrate, first of all, should be gluten-free. So if we're talking about grains, quinoa, buckwheat, amaranth, millet, brown rice, okay, those are all gluten-free and they're great. The key is variety. So you don't just want to be having quinoa all the time. You want to rotate because you can get sensitive to the same, you can get even the healthiest foods, you can develop a sensitivity to if you consume them every single day. So you want to rotate your foods every few days. So maybe one day it's amaranth, one day it's buckwheat, one day it's wild rice or brown rice, and do that in that rotation. That goes with anything, okay? That goes with the meats that you're eating, the vegetables you're eating, the fruit, everything, okay? Joe Andrews, coconut oil or butter? Oh, why or? How about and? Why not both? I use both. I do. I don't like coconut oil with my eggs. I like the taste of butter with my eggs. We made a butternut squash soup for our kids for lunch today, and we used a good amount of butter with that, just because it naturally lends itself better in terms of a taste to that soup. So both is good in my book. Jessica, what about oatmeal? Oatmeal, yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Have oatmeal in the morning and then see how you feel. Okay, I don't know if you guys feel really energized after oatmeal, but it's a big time sleeper. Again, if you're having high carbohydrates in the morning, oh my God. These dogs are crazy. Oh man. Stuart, you look, hey, you look very young. What do you use or eat? Well, thank you very much. I feel young. I think that's the secret, is I feel young. However, I'm feeling a little bit older now after having 3 kids. Not that I gave birth to them, right? But they definitely wear you down. 3 boys, they're just insane. So if you guys have kids, you know what it's like. I think it's the ultimate personal development seminar all the time. It's very easy to go to a cave and meditate and escape and be like all zenned out and feel great. But what happens when you come back in the storm? That's the true test. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Believe me, I lose my cool more than I'd like to, but I try to do my best to be very conscious and aware about breathe, just let it go. It's all good. So I think perspective and how you feel make a big difference in how you look. It's funny because I actually feel young compared to a lot of the people in, for instance, our kids' schools who are the same age as their parents seem older. I don't know if they just started having kids older, or maybe they're just in more like, corporate jobs that I'm kind of just not a part of that world. So I kind of live in my own little bubble of kind of do what I want when I want and provide lots of value. And it's great. In terms of eating, I try to eat clean. I try to eat as clean as possible, but I do have my indulgences every now and then. But, lots of greens. I've got my energy greens powder that I have every single morning. I use collagen as a protein source. Try to drink lots of water. So I played tennis this morning with my buddy Eric, and so I'm just pounding back the water now. Had a nice blueberry, vanilla protein, banana, one of these guys, banana smoothie after that. And I've got a pretty busy afternoon, so I don't know if I'm going to have that much time to eat. So I'm going to just drink a lot of water. Maybe I'll plow into the other half of this grapefruit, and then I'll have a big dinner tonight. So that's it. It's pretty simple. Like I don't try to complicate things. I don't fuss. I don't, I'm not fanatical about counting calories or macros, and I don't feel guilty if I have tiramisu for dessert if I'm at an Italian restaurant. That's just the way I roll. So otherwise, you just go insane. Would you guys agree with that or not? Yeah, I don't know. Everyone has their own journey. Okay, so we've got we've got 1 minute to go. I'm going to take one more question. So June, I'm finding it harder and harder to maintain my weight despite being on a low glycemic index diet for a long time. Is it just part of getting older with women? Well, kind of sadly, yes. But there is good news because, so I don't know, June, if you have not checked out my all-day fat burning diet, strongly recommend it. Okay. Let me just type it into the chat here so you can, if I can. So this book, the reason I wrote it is exactly because of this question. I've tried everything, but nothing's worked. So what do? So I wrote the book. It's basically based on a 5-day food cycling formula, which basically allows, or not allows you, it's not restrictive or anything. It's just basically saying, listen to your body, right? Some days you feel like having more food. Other days you feel like having less food. And let's just do it a little bit more strategically initially until you get to the swing of it, and then it becomes intuitive. And we've helped thousands and thousands of women and men go through this program who were previously like, I've done everything, I can't lose the weight, it's not staying off. And they tried this, and in 21 days or less, significant changes. And the most amazing part is that the meals, the recipes, the foods, they taste amazing. As you know, I love good tasting food. So every recipe I ever create, all of my recipes, all my cookbooks, everything have to taste good. And there's 50 some odd recipes in this diet alone, which are tremendous. And the good news is that we've got the cookbook follow-up to this book coming out in December. So it's called the All-Day Fat Burning Cookbook. Actually, I think you can actually pre-order it on Amazon now. I actually just had a call with my publishing team at Rodale just before we started this. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I didn't even realize the book is on Amazon. It's coming out in December, end of December. But if you guys want to pre-order it now, you can do that. Just type in All Day Fat Burning Cookbook on Amazon. You'll find it there. And that is 125 amazing fat burning recipes. And again, no deprivation, no starvation, none of that nonsense. Just great tasting food that helps reset your metabolism so you can burn fat normally. Okay, that's the whole point. Is just eating better foods allows you to eat more of them, and as a result, you can just live in a body that you actually love without stressing about all this stuff. All right, so look at the time. Look at the time. It has flown by. Guys, gals, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Remember to share this. If you've enjoyed this session, share this damn video, whatever you want to call it, live stream, thingamajig. As you know, I'm on a mission to help 10 million people by 2018, 100 million people by 2040. I cannot do this alone. Okay, so by you guys liking this, sharing it, letting your friends know about this, let them know to tune in every single Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. If they can't, let them share the replay with them so they can watch this and start to really elevate their knowledge and their action in terms of living the healthiest life they possibly can. So thanks so much for helping me spread the message, helping us get out there and serving more people. And I hope you have an amazing day. We're gonna finish off with a cool intro or the outro. And once again, guys, thanks so much. Yuri Elkaim from urielkaim.com. I will talk to you guys next Wednesday.
Trouble losing weight? Need more energy? Want to improve your health? You got a fitness or nutrition question? I probably have an answer for you.